Let's suppose you are walking in the Amazon forest. In the forest, you meet a tribe, and the tribe has a cook. You want to tell the cook that you are hungry, so you need to eat. The problem is you don't know the language. So what you get is an interpreter. So that is the interpreter. You speak English to the interpreter, and the interpreter speaks Amazonish to the cook. And the cook serves you the meal. Python works the same. This is you again, and you want to communicate with the processor of your computer. For example, you want to know the sum of 3 and 4. The problem again is that the processor speaks a very difficult language called machine language. And this language is very hard for humans to speak or to write. So what we get is an interpreter called CPython. So what is CPython? CPython is the software we installed in the previous videos. So when you download Python from python.org and you install it, what you're installing is actually CPython. It's an interpreter. This interpreter gets Python language from you, and it translates that language to machine language, and it speaks that machine language to the processor. In return, the processor uses the computer display, so your laptop screen, to display the results. For example, 7, and you see that 7. So as you can see, Python is just like English. It's just a language. The software you install and you use to execute Python is just a software, and it's written in C language. It happens to be written in C language. That's why it's called CPython, even though most people refer to it as just Python. When you say, did you install Python? Well, you're speaking of installing CPython. The Python language itself is just knowledge. It's stored in documentation. If you go to python.org and then go to the documentation menu, then you should see the documentation of Python. So the documentation of Python is the equivalent of a dictionary, an English dictionary such as Oxford Dictionary, where the English language is documented. There is one difference though. In the case where we spoke to the cook, we used spoken language. In the case to communicate with the interpreter in here, we use text files. So we write the language in a text file, and the interpreter reads that text file. In this case here, the interpreter, he listens to the sound that we speak. Of course, we give the extension .py to these text files, but they are still text files. The extension is different. And that's the idea. That's what Python is. So Python is the language. And thanks for following this example, this comparison, and I'll talk to you in the next video.